I grew up in the Bay Area, in the East Bay, San Lorenzo. I have three children. So I'm a mom to three girls. I became a mom at 19, so really young. And once my oldest was getting ready to start thinking about going to college, I decided to start over again. And then I had two more girls back to back. So I have three girls. I'm Mexican American. I'm a daughter to immigrant parents. So growing up, there was a lot of struggles with my parents trying to assimilate and trying to make a living and a better life for my sister and I. Yeah, so I have one sister. She's 9 years older than me, very much like a mom to me, instead of a sister.
Before Reiki and life coaching, what other kind of work have you done?
I work in the dental industry. That's where I've been working for the past 11 years. I did go to school, but because I became a mom at 19, school took me a long time to finish. I was in school 8 years. While I was in school, I was working in the hospitality industry. And then after school, I studied anthropology. So after school, there weren't very many options with that major. So it was that really, I didn't know what to do. And I wasn't sure I was going to go back to school because I was afraid to spend another 8 years in school.
Yeah.
So I started working in the dental industry.
What are some hobbies you have or things you enjoy doing just for fun?
I really enjoy baking, pretty much any activity that I can do with spending time with my girls. And photography is a very big passion of mine. And that started with just taking pictures of my girls all the way, 20 years ago when we still had cameras, or when I had cameras and I had to take the roll to the drugstore and get that developed. But now after, so many years of taking pictures, I finally invested in a nice camera and I just still continue to take pictures of my girls.
Think back to the first time that you thought to yourself, I think I want to try this Reiki thing. So think back to the first time that, Reiki and life coaching even like came to mind, and tell us about your first experience with Reiki.
I was on a healing journey at the time when I first heard about Reiki. And within my healing journey, it was just really focusing on spirituality. And I was listening to a podcast, and that's really when the first time I heard about Reiki.
Yeah.
And I was really interested. And because it was the first time that I heard about Reiki, I didn't really know where to go for a Reiki session. So I reached out to the person who was on the podcast. And she was out in New Jersey. And I did a distant session with her. And I didn't have anyone to help me with my girls. And I didn't want to cancel the session because she was a mom as well, and her schedule was really busy. So I kept the appointment. It was around the girls' nap time, hoping that the girls would be sleeping. But I was kidding myself because my 3-year-old never takes a nap ever. So I did the session. My 1-year-old fell asleep. But during the session, without intending to, I remember just feeling very relaxed and calm, which was something I haven't felt in a long time, just because of everything that was going on in my life at that time. I was so relaxed that I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I saw that my 3-year-old was sleeping as well. And I was in shock. Like I said, she never takes a nap. And that day she took a 7-hour nap. She slept until about 9 o'clock. And I was afraid that she was going to be up all night, but she finally woke up. She ate some dinner and went back to sleep. So that for me was kind of what piqued my interest in learning more about what is Reiki. Like what, I know I felt something. And then for my daughter who was with me at that time, for her to fall asleep and take a nap, which she never does, I was really surprised. And the Reiki practitioner told me that she felt energy bouncing around, which was my 3-year-old. she sent some Reiki to my 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And so like I said, that's what really piqued my interest in learning more about what this is, because I definitely felt the benefits from it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I thought, okay, well, if it obviously benefited my girls, if it benefits me, it's going to benefit them as well. So that's what really got me into learning more.
How have, so then you decided to go and learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so how have you been using it in your family?
The best thing you do is take care of yourself if
Right.
you're taking care of your family.
Yeah.
So that really benefited not just me, but my children as well, because I was more grounded and more able to, be the mom that I wanted to be, and for my daughters, I do Reiki on them. And I definitely see the benefits that come with doing Reiki on my kids.
Yeah. What advice do you have for people who, are curious? They know that they need help. There's something going on in life. Maybe they haven't really tried anything holistic or something like this yet, but they're curious. Any advice for people kind of like on the fence of trying this stuff?
Yeah, my advice is, if you are on the fence, do your research, ask around. I'm pretty sure that maybe you'll know somebody that has tried Reiki or knows a little bit more about it. But if you are interested, it's definitely worth trying. I say this because I know for me how much it has helped me, and I'm so glad that I tried it, because just doing Reiki has really been, I've been able to just come back to my body and really center myself, and in learning more about Reiki, I've really learned a lot about energy. I've learned a lot about my own energy, and coming back to myself, because with a lot of the things that I've gone through in the past, especially trauma from childhood and a lot of the traumas that I was going through as an adult,
Yeah.
and just holding on to those traumas, and not really, and even trying to process all of the traumas that I was going through, it was really difficult. So learning about Reiki, I was really able to learn just about how much power I have within my own energy,
Mm-hmm.
and learning how to protect my energy, learning how, energy works. And since meeting you and learning Reiki from you, I have to say that my life has completely changed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's changed for the better. Things started to shift really fast for me.
And people should know that who decide to go on. Really, things can shift pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they definitely shifted very fast for me. And through your classes, I was able to meet a lot of like-minded people, and these are people that, I mean, I didn't realize, even before taking your classes, I always, wanted to see if I can meet, or I always put out there that I wanted to meet people that were interested in the same things as I was, which was spirituality, different healing modalities, Reiki. And so I was able to find my tribe, and I was able to find a lot of people that I'm consider really good friends.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what is your vision for the future? Like what, I guess, like what kind of people light you up and that you really want to serve, that you really, like some soul clients that come to mind, is it, you said families, but I guess what about it makes you excited for the transformation for the people you're going to work with?
I really feel passionate about working with women and men that are in abusive relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and domestic violence survivors. And the reason I'm so passionate about that is because I'm a domestic violence survivor myself.
Mm-hmm.
And just working and doing the work and doing the energy healing has really helped me, because coming out of something like that, even living through something like that, you really become detached, and you really, for me at least, a survival mode or survival method for me was disassociation. So I was not connected to my authentic self. I didn't know what was my energy. I didn't know how to protect my own energy. So working with domestic violence survivors and those who are in abusive relationships just really excites me to teach them how energy works, how to teach them about energy healing, and to, help them become more centered and become more empowered, and to help uplift them. Yeah.
Anything else that you think you want to share about yourself, or any other like last tips that you have for people? But I am excited for you to keep helping people transform. And it's really about transforming energy, right? So that future generations don't have to live through the past, right? And so when we can face our past, or whatever happened to us, or the things that we were taught that no longer serve us and no longer serve future generations, and we can transform that in our generation, it's really exciting to see what it can look like. Like you said, through being able to work with domestic violence survivors, and they can find their voice again, they can heal the trauma in their bodies and their hearts, and find safe space again to really be themselves, and find a group of people that they can heal with too, or have even just one safe place to talk about it, and to open up about it, and to work through those things that come up, I think is important. And I really think that the world is really craving somewhere safe, someone safe to talk to be themselves, no judgment, just listening, just being a sounding board, and being able to receive, energy, unconditional love, source energy, so that their body can naturally heal itself. And sometimes when there's trauma stuck in the body for so long, if it's unaddressed, it turns into dis-ease. And that's the last thing we want, is for unaddressed stress, right, over years of just being held in the body, to turn up as dis-ease in the body, right? Or chronic illness or pain for somebody. So it's like, let's address that and work through that before that has to come up in the body, or worse, it comes out on the wrong person. Right. So that's good to just transform that. So that's exciting. Anyone else that, you are excited to work with as well? Are you interested in working with children too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm interested with working with children, but also working with parents, to kind of give them the tools. I mean, I don't know everything, but just, to be able to help them and to guide them, and to give them the tools so that they can, help their children, become more mindful, and to learn how to use these techniques. I wish I had something like this when I was younger.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We would have had a very different, couple decades, if we had some awareness. I always say that too. I wish I had me when I was 20, like someone like me to talk to, and I really explained what was happening. And it was a lot of stress happening in my life at that time, but was showing up in my body. But nobody could explain it. And I still remember when my college professor gave me a book about meditation, and I thought it was a joke, because I was like, I don't know how to sit quietly and not think. Is this a joke? Right. But nobody showed me how. It was a book, but no one showed me how. And I kind of wish someone would like literally just show me how. And I think the beauty about Reiki is like, it's undeniable when you can feel it yourself. Right. And you have that first experience, and then it piques your interest. Like, I got to try this again, because I've never felt this kind of peace before. I've never felt this relaxed or out of my head, and just in the moment. And when you have that experience, it's like I said, it's just totally undeniable. You're just like, okay, something just happened that I haven't felt ever, or never that peaceful. Yeah. Let's do that again.
Yeah. And I do have to say that my grandmother did energy work. My grandmother in Mexico. And when I was 12 years old, she somehow knew that we needed to have a what they call in Mexico a limpia.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that was my first experience, and I will never forget it.
Yep.
I remember exactly how it felt, and it really piqued my interest.
Yep.
But because of the small town that they lived in, it was almost it was looked down upon, you
So she
know.
didn't talk about it then.
No, I
Yeah.
was told we do not
Yeah.
talk about this.
Yeah.
Do not tell anybody.
Yep.
This, you know, people are gonna, you know, say this and that. So I always held on to that interest, but I just didn't, it just stopped there. We
Yeah.
didn't really talk about it. But yeah, I mean, it had, you know, I had someone to teach me or to let me know that it's okay and that this is, you know, this what you experience and the calmness and the peace that you felt. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is how you can do it to yourself. You can always, you know, come back to your body and you know, and just work on your energy and whenever you're feeling down or you know, this is how you hold space for yourself. This is how you can ground yourself. I mean, that would have changed a lot of things
Right.
for me.
And it's amazing to honor that I guess really family heritage of there's healers in your family. And so honoring that, you know, and also realizing maybe back in their time it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
Right? Even 100 years ago it wasn't safe. But now there is a shift and more people are aware of this stuff and more people are open to this stuff. And while there is judgment, it's not like what our grandparents probably that kind of judgment and looks they would get, or maybe they even feared getting hurt. You know, this happened right decades ago, and witches would be stoned and
Yeah.
all these things just because people couldn't understand the magic, the gift. They didn't understand it. They were afraid of it, or what for whatever reason. But in every culture, people have been doing hands-on healing and hands-off healing, just hovering right over the body, you know, for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And so being able to honor that and bring that back and teach somebody else. So you don't have to be hush hush. You can actually teach and work on someone and explain it and do all those things is incredibly empowering. That's how we keep making this shift. We keep empowering people to heal because everyone has magic. Everyone has that ability to heal themselves,
Absolutely.
their mind, their energy. But we were told we don't, like, and we were just told to play it small, and we were told that this is the way life is. And when you just see people waking up, it's really beautiful. You know, you see people waking up to their power, to their alignment, to their purpose. Yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah, we all have our own intuitive gifts. And and one goal of mine or a passion of mine is to help people come back to those gifts, you know, especially if you've been told your whole entire life that you can't trust yourself or that you're wrong, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
To align back to your, you know, having that intuition, you know, whether it's you have visions of things, whether you just have this knowing, right, or you can feel it in your body, right? But trusting it, right? Like you said, they might have it, but someone put a disconnect in there somewhere in their life and said, don't trust that.
Yeah.
And now they're coming back to like, no, I can trust that. That's probably my ancestors and my spirit guides communicating something important to me.
Right.
So I'm going to trust that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to say is, you know, whenever I do Reiki, whether it's on someone else or on me, I really just feel like I become in a state of oneness, one with God, one with everything around me, with all people, with the earth. And I just wish that everybody could learn how to do that because I really feel like the world would be a better place. I feel like just being in a state of oneness just raises the vibration of the planet. And I think that's just my vision for the future. That and just providing children the tools that they need to learn how to do this work, you know, starting at a young age to really trust themselves.